Joining us now, Command Sergeant Major Silvester Tatum. He's the senior enlisted leader of the Mississippi National Guard. That makes him the highest-ranking enlisted soldier in the National Guard. Good to see you again, Sergeant Major.
Good to see you, Mr. Gibber. How are you doing?
Doing just fine,
Great.
sir. All right, so how long have you been in this position as the SEL, as the senior enlisted leader of the Mississippi National Guard?
Well, right now I've been in the position since April the 22nd, 2021, and It's been a great job, great challenge.
Yeah, so how has that kind of changed your role in the National Guard now that you've been promoted into this position? How's that different from what it was before?
Well, what's different now is that I also have a little over 1,200 soldiers, now 12,000 soldiers that's in the Mississippi Army and Air Guard. So that's a lot to try to be a senior enlisted leader throughout the Mississippi National Guard. I think it's a great opportunity, and as well as it's an honor to be that voice for the Mississippi Guard.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So in being that voice in that role, are you working with the officers and the higher levels of command there to just make sure that they understand the perspective of the soldier?
That is correct. As a matter of fact, I work with the officers as well as the senior enlisted leaders on both sides, the Army and Air.
I got you. And what are some of the areas that you focus on in that regard? Well,
throughout the Guard, I would like my area of focus is based on readiness, training, military education, as well as resiliency, as well as honoring the military families across the nation.
So do you meet on a kind of a regular basis with the soldiers, with the enlisted men and women to find out what kind of their concerns, their interests are, or just things they want to express up the chain of command?
That is correct. Just over this past weekend, we just had a senior enlisted call throughout all of the E9s that we have on Army and Air. Just kind of wanted to hear their voice and see what they had on their heart, as well as to find out what are their issues and how can we fix those issues that's out there.
And then you meet then with the officers and folks at the higher ranks that can, I guess, take action on those and respond to some of that. How does that? You're kind of the liaison between. Is that a safe way to say?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How do they take that sort of input coming from the soldiers in the trenches? Are they pretty receptive to that and try to act on that?
Yes, sir. I would say so, because the senior officers would like to know what are some of the issues down at the lower level, and we don't always get that unless we go down to the lower level and bring that information back up to the senior leaders. So with that, we can take that and run with it to see if we can fix some of the areas or areas of focus on the enlisted as a whole, as well as try to make sure that they are actually out there completing their primary education, the military education. So that's one thing that we really focus on in their military education, as well as how far do you want to go within the Guard as an individual.
I got you. Well,
and that's officer and enlisted.
I think it's fair to say that the most effective leaders are, in fact, those that are willing to receive and consume input from the ranks. I mean, it guides them in doing their job and making the team better. And that's really what it's all about. You guys work together when you're unified.
That is correct. I totally agree.
Yeah. All right, so tell us about what's been going on there in the Mississippi National Guard in general. I had General Boyles on not too long ago, and he gave us an update, but I know things are always popping. So what's been going on lately?
Well, I would say within the last week, we had about 200 soldiers over in Louisiana when the Hurricane Ida come through. Yeah. So they actually kind of like went over and assist our sister state. They help with removing debris, as well as issue out commodities, direct traffic, as well as whatever they could do as far as making sure Louisiana is well taken care of. And the units that's actually participated in that was the 112 MP Company out of Canton, as well as the 223rd Engineer Brigade, the first of the 111 Aviation, along with the 255 Air Control Squadron, which is the Air Guard. So they all participated in that. Along with that, we also had a crew that actually went out for the California wildfire, and there was a Chinook crew with about 10 packs to help deliver water, drop water, whatever the case may be. But in saying all of that, those soldiers, all soldiers now are back home safely, no issues, no concerns. So we're back home now, and those states kind of thank us for coming out and assisting them.
Yeah, and of course, something that I had the opportunity to interact with was the role that the Guard played in the vaccination rollout,
Correct.
which was fantastic, honestly. Feedback from one who went and had 2 shots. I just couldn't be more impressed with the job the Guard did, their courtesy, their efficiency, their professionalism. Really made it a painless, totally painless and easy experience, and we appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate that, sir.
Yeah, I think that was critical. And, you know, the military knows how to handle lots of people, knows how to handle logistics.
Yes, sir, we do.
Probably better than any other organization on the planet, frankly. So I think was a perfect matchup there.
Thank you.
In my view. All right, so what is going on here with respect to the tournament? How are you guys in the Mississippi National Guard connected to the Sanderson Farms Championship? What's happening there?
Well, I want to say thank you to Sanderson Farm that's assisting all the military families. I would say that we just don't have just one group. I think we have soldiers throughout the organization that are sitting here helping, and just want to thank Sanderson Farm for their support, giving us everything that they think that they could give us. But we are honored to take this moment to celebrate an approximate about 12,500 soldiers that are in the Mississippi Air and Army Guard.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's awesome. And the Sanderson people, and I know Mr. Sanderson, he is a patriotic individual who has deep respect, as we do here at SuperTalk, for members of our military, including the National Guard, of course. So that's a pretty big deal to be recognized out here.
It is.
In front of so many Mississippians, I think, who feel the same way.
You're exactly right.
Opportunity to connect to them. You guys have also had a pretty busy summer. I know you went out to California and was getting some updates from some of our listeners, as a matter of fact, who were keeping up with what's going on out there. Tell us how that went.
I would say the 155 actually went to the National Training Center, which is out in California, Puerto Rico, California. I think they did a great job. They actually, the 155 really been rolling here for about the last 5-6 years on their training, which our tempo is real high. I would say that the NTC rotation is about as real as can get, as far as other than out being in an actual war. Yeah. So I would say that training was awesome. The soldiers there got really highly recommended on the job and their performance, and we actually went into it real slow. We walked, crawled, and then we ran. Yeah. So outside of that, I think they did a great job.
Is this something the Guard does on an annual basis? Is it every year?
Well, I would say certain units are selected every other year. Okay. So we would not do a national training event next year, but probably the year after that.
I got you.
Yes, sir.
And these members, the members of the Guard that serve in the Guard, this isn't their primary jobs. Is that right?
That is correct.
They come from
all over.
Other occupations, and so they are truly giving up their time to be part of this and service to mobilize, pick up, go out to California. How long were they out there?
They was out there 30 days.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, 30 days.
30 days.
Yes, sir.
Quite the experience. How has that training advanced and evolved through the years? What's different about it now than, say, what it looked like 10, 20 years ago?
Ooh. Basically, the training is about the same.
Okay.
Nothing really changes, especially when you go out to the desert. More or less, you're just trying to win, trying to go out and win a complex war.
Yeah.
But basically, the training is about the same. Okay. No different in the training. We all have to kick indoors every now and then, so that's what the infantry guys does. And then one tanks go down range and they shoot big guns, as well as the choppers fly over and try to shoot their target, as well as in the field artillery. They can shoot out at least 13 miles out. Yeah. So, which is a great training event. So I would say the training event really doesn't change when you go out there. It just more or less set the tone on what to look for the future.
Are some of the assets, are they a little different now as they have advanced through the years? And so you have to kind of adapt the training a little bit to that, perhaps?
Yeah, I would say you would have to adapt it as far as training-wise. I would say the difference in the training out there would probably be the weather. You're leaving from here, going out to California, and you're about 45 4,500 feet higher in the air, so the air really get real thin, and it's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. The air's thin. It's sort of the desert.
It's the
essentially,
desert.
hot
That's
desert.
exactly right.
And it's a little harder to breathe, and if you don't stay hydrated, you get a headache. That's
Yeah,
been
that's
my
right.
experience. I used to live out there.
Yes, sir.
So.
You're correct on that.
Sergeant Major, it's been a pleasure having you on the program today, sir. Thank you for your service, and congratulations on all the fine work the Guard does and for being honored here today at the Sanderson Farms Championship.
All right, Mr. Griffith, thank you for having me.
We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
We'll come right back with more on Middays. Stay with